Hey guys, this little video is going to explain a bit about what I need you to be working on in class today. This is going to explain what the work for both 5th and 6th hour, though 5th hour students, you've already seen some of this work that I'm going to start off with. So the first part of this video is mostly for 6th hour. The second part of the video is going to kind of explain what I need everybody to be doing. So you guys have already looked at this assignment where you were asked to think about what the causes of this pecking behavior. So if you open up this in Schoology, you are going to see the data from some experiments with some baby seagulls where they took a natural head, this is essentially an actual parent, and they measured how many times a baby seagull would peck at its parent's head when it was begging. And that's what this data on the left here shows. And then they essentially did 11 separate experiments. The first experiment, they just tried to build a model that looked a lot like the parent's head. And sure enough, they were able to build a puppet that got just as many pecks as its real parent, which proved that the baby seagull doesn't need to see an actual parent. It just needs some things about the parent in order to peck. And then they went around, once they figured that they could make a model, they modified the model a whole bunch of different ways, and you can look at all those ways here. Your task is to find a group. So your group can be a group of 2 or 3, no groups of 4. You may work alone if you want, but having a group to talk about these concepts with is going to develop them more fully for you and also give you a better chance when I ask you to do this on your own to be successful, because you'll have heard some different ideas about how to think about it. In your group, you need to identify one thing that causes pecking and one thing that does not cause pecking. If you look back at your notes on what causes are anything that trigger or set off a behavior. So sometimes students actually surprisingly kind of have a hard time figuring this out, because they look at the natural head or the parent and the standard model and they say, well, that causes pecking. Yes, it's true. But what I'm interested in is what about the head of their parent actually causes the pecking. It's not the whole head. And so what the researchers did is they modified the head. They changed the color. They made it black instead of white. They changed the shape. They took the dot off. They took the whole head off and just left the bill. They left the head and took the bill off, the beak, to see what happened. If you're trying to figure out if something is a cause, here's a way that because sometimes students struggle. Here's a way to think about it. Ask yourself this question: did it matter to the bird? Did it matter? So did having a bill or a beak matter? So look at this third set of data. Well, clearly it did matter. When they took the beak off, the baby stopped pecking. On the flip side, look at the color here. So they have a black-headed bird instead of white. Did that matter? It didn't matter. The baby bird pecked just as much at a puppet that was black as they did at a puppet that was white. So color didn't matter. Okay. I'd like you to look on here and find your own. An example of something that mattered, that's a cause. Of something that didn't matter, that's not a cause of their pecking behavior. And then you're going to pull these pieces of data out. So here, group hour 5, now we're getting into what I want you to do. So you're going to actually take out the pieces of data you need. So let's say you were going to do mine, which I don't want anybody to do these, so you pick your own. Let's say you were going to do the black head and the no bill. So color is not a cause. Having a beak is a cause of the behavior. I would pull out the data for the standard model, because that's what I'll compare it to. And I'd pull out the data on the no bill and the data on the black head. And I'd just have those 3 pieces of data. And I'd put those on that piece of legal sized paper that you're going to get from the front of the room. That's your evidence. Then you're going to write your claim. The claim is going to be a statement saying, these are the causes, these are the non-causes. Here's the evidence. And then you're going to write a reasoned statement explaining why you believe that data shows that the 2 pieces or the two things about the head of the parent that you decided to look at are either causes or non-causes. Each group then is going to end up creating kind of their own unique presentation because you each might select different ones. But I have one rule for you. You cannot choose this one, the stick. Ignore that one for now. That's a weird one. It makes no sense that the baby pecked at the stick more than it pecked at anything else. It liked the stick with 3 dots even more than it liked its own parent. That doesn't make any sense, at least not by sort of the normal way of thinking about it. We'll get into that next week. When I come back on Monday, I expect to see one legal size piece of paper that you'll get from the front of the room, a nice title. I expect to see your claim about the cause and the non-cause, the data, and then a couple of sentences where you explain what a cause is and why you believe the things that are a cause and why you believe the things that are a non-cause are a non-cause when it comes to pecking. Okay, write that out as a full statement. And that's what you should have done. If you have questions, I will be on Schoology the next couple days, and you can message me and I will send you a message back. But otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of the week.